Welcome to the Dragon's Library, your source for games, movies, shows, and more. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Dragon's Library. Today we are reviewing Army of the Dead, and it's a movie. It's very interesting. I hadn't really watched a lot of Zack Snyder stuff before I started seeing the Justice League, and I just hated everything to do with the DC universe. I don't want to talk about it. It was just bad. Except for Wonder Woman and Shazam. Wonder Woman and Shazam are good. But anyway, so this is his new movie. Apparently it was made before whatever that reboot of Justice League was, the Snyder Cut or whatever. I didn't bother seeing that. I don't want to see Justice League again. Let's stop talking about that. Okay, so this is basically a zombie heist movie. And it has to be just one of the most interesting premises I've seen in a long time. So the film opens with this basically this transport car is coming from Area 51 delivering a payload. And it's, the soldiers are kind of joking in the car saying, ooh, what could it be? Maybe it's an angel. We work at Area 51. What could it be? And so they actually get into a wreck with the newlyweds who aren't looking at the road like complete idiots. And they end up unleashing a zombie. Now this thing is actually like really tough by zombie standards. Like bullets are like bouncing off it. It is super speed. It's intelligent enough to actually take people down. And of course it's a zombie, so when it bites you, you die and get resurrected as a zombie. Uh-oh. And so the soldiers all get taken out and turned, and it starts leading them to Las Vegas. So yeah. The next few things is actually a really cool scene. This is all like the very beginning of the movie. This is like, I'm not really spoiling anything yet. This is just intro stuff. So Las Vegas, gets taken out. The government walls it off. Survivors trying to escape. There's all this big montage. And then it just kind of says, yeah, we couldn't really do anything about it. Every time we tried to send soldiers in, we just kind of made their army bigger. So yeah, we just kind of said, screw it. And then eventually, a few years later, everybody's like, all right, we need to do something about this. Just nuke the place and be done with it. So yeah, the government's decided to nuke the city. But a casino owner has recently gotten the insurance for his casino. But there's still all the money, $200 million underneath it in the vault. So he wants to send in a team of thieves, safecracker, a few mercenaries, ex-military who aren't doing so well financially, helicopter pilot, and he's going to have them break out of Las Vegas, steal the money. They get to split $50 million between themselves, and he gets another $150 million on top of his $200 million. Which, seems like a pretty good reason to send some mercenaries in there. So yeah, that's the movie. You got this, ragtag bunch of mercenaries going in to get the money. And they have to deal with zombies. There's not really much more to it. The premise is remarkably simple when you boil it down. It's post-zombie apocalypse, but it is contained in one city, and now they're going to do a heist because it's Vegas. So yeah, it was interesting. I liked it. It definitely was like a twist on both the zombie apocalypse movies and like heist movies. It really blended the two types of movies together fairly well. And I really liked some of the more creative parts, especially the zombies. Like, this could have been a cool zombie apocalypse just on its own, but the fact that it's also a heist movie is just like, wow, you guys just had so much creativity to spend. And you know what? I'm happy for you. Good job. So, yeah. Alright, that's the spoiler-free spot. I'm going to start getting into the more details about the plot soon. First, though, we're going to be talking about, just general cinematography, how are the effects, that kind of thing. So, the effects are good. Nothing really stands out for me. The explosion scenes are kind of nice. They're a bit CGI-ish. Like, I could tell a few of them were definitely CGI explosions. But for the most part, I think they're all well-made, well done. It's actually a really well-shot movie. Like, look, this is the last time I swear I will bring up the DC movies, But I hated those movies. But even I have to kind of admit they were pretty well shot, like from a cinematic perspective. And there's some really creative stuff in here. The opening montage is really cool. And there's this big scene in the one of the main casino areas where two of them are being chased by zombies, and one of them is like the camera is like super erratic and shaky. I can barely tell what's going on. And the other one is like the cool, calm, but he's like, freaking out. And the other guy is cool, calm, and collected. His camera is nice and steady. And, it's just little things like that throughout the movie that just like enhance it a bit. Really nice, really nice. So yeah, go figure, Zack Snyder is actually a good filmmaker. Yeah. All right. Well, that's just, basic effects, direction, that kind of stuff. So now let's get into the plot. Because this movie goes through all the cliches, baby. I already gave you the basic setup, but I want to go more into that opening scene. Because I found the opening to be one of the coolest parts of the movie. See, the movie starts with like these, there's the whole scene on the road at night with the military convoys and the zombies standing before Las Vegas. And, just standing there watching it. And then it cuts to black. And it's like, this music starts up. And you get introduced to this woman. She's like a soccer mom kind of person. Like, it's the whole soccer mom becomes a badass in zombie apocalypse. You've seen this. You've seen this before. And so what happens is she starts, she loses her daughter in the apocalypse. Not dies, not yet, spoiler. So she goes looking. She finds a girl that, had the same kind of jacket as her and saved her from a horde. Wasn't her. She was very upset. She couldn't find her. Goes around saving people, teaming up with others. The military starts dropping in, parachuting people. They do poorly for the most part. Tanks being overrun. Last soldiers stand. She fires a flare but gets swarmed and they bomb the area. That kind of thing. Really cool explosion effects. It does a really good job of showing just how incapable the U.S. government was of stemming this horde. Just how relentless and overwhelming it could be with such a massive population center as its, as its initial outbreak. So yeah, there's a lot of cool scenes like that. They do things like the casinos being overrun. Actually, I found it funny. Like, it was like a few of the people was like, "Oh yeah, this is Vegas. It's like completely normal for people to dress and act like complete and utter lunatics." So like there are a few times where like people just don't even realize the zombies are coming until it's too late. And as it gets worse and worse, you start following this small band of people, including two of the characters we're going to end up following: the main guy, the love interest, and then the soccer mom I told you about. And she has this whole arc, and they save people. They also the badass too, the badass guy who ends up screwing up everything. Vanderone, I think. Something with a V. Vander something. I'm just going to call him Vander. I do not remember most of these people's names. I apologize greatly for that, but their archetypes are more important than who they actually are. It's really sad to say, but... so, yeah. Anyway, she eventually reunites with her daughter, and they're making a last-ditch break for the finish line, but she gets caught, and then her daughter won't leave her alone, so... Literally, this person we follow for like this whole silent montage, we never even get her name. She and her daughter are like finally reunited, hugging as the zombies devour them, and they're crushed by a crate, forming the last bit of the wall that's gonna, blockade Las Vegas. I keep on saying New Vegas because I keep thinking of that Fallout game that I love so much. I have to talk about that sometime. But onto the list. New Vegas. You go onto the list. Another time. Keep getting distracted today. I don't know why this movie just has me so distracted. So yeah, it was a really cool opening scene. I really liked it. The rest of the movie is pretty standard. It's they deal with the zombie horde in a closed environment. They have to deal with getting through the security systems. Oop, things are going wrong. It's inevitable betrayal time. So, one of the people that goes in, he's working for the Japanese businessman who was sending them to go, raid his casino for the money. Turns out he has an ulterior motive. And anyone who's seen a zombie movie, I will give you 5 seconds to think over what do you think he's doing. Time's up. Now, if your answer was anything other than He wants a zombie head from one of the alpha zombies so the government can create their own zombie army for use in biological warfare. That's all the government and or anyone who has access to a zombie virus does in movies. Then you are absolutely 100% correct. I'm sorry, it's just like so dumb. It's like they barely managed to contain it in Las Vegas, and that was in a place that was very disconnected from the world. Yeah, there were a lot of people going in and out of Vegas. But the city itself is in the middle of a freaking desert, you know? There's not much around, so, like, it's very reasonable that they could contain it. But, like, if this got into, like, an actual urban population around, like, the eastern seaboard or something like that, like, let's put it this way, it is outright stated the zombie virus can infect other mammals. If it's possible for this thing to infect fish, then it could literally turn the ocean into a zombie plague. No. Just no. What the hell? Why are you playing around with something that dangerous? This isn't even nuke dangerous. This will kill us all if you do not get rid of it dangerous, and the government still wants to play around with this. Like, god damn it, movie governments and video game governments. They give you Umbrella Corporation. You're all so dumb. Stop playing around with things like that. You're gonna get us all killed. Nearly already got us all killed in this movie. So, yeah. There are a few interesting things about the zombies in this movie. For example, the first zombie is pretty intelligent. Reasonably so. Like, caveman intelligent, you know? And he rules over the alphas, which are all the zombies he personally infected. They're slightly more sophisticated, you know? They can work as a group. They follow his orders more directly. They abide by certain, you know, basic tribalish rules. Like one of their guides ends up sacrificing this a-hole from a detention camp where they hold people who might be infected, suspected of being infected. And it's considered to be kind of unreasonable too. And he was kind of a dick, so she offered him to the zombies as a way to get them out of to prevent the intelligent ones from hunting them down in their territory. It's like a peace offering to show submission and stuff like that. So they're like a tribalistic society. But all the alphas, the lesser alphas, not the king alpha, but all the ones he created, if they bite somebody, they'll just become a regular, like, run-of-the-mill Walking Dead zombie, you know, slow, shambling zombie. Not like a fast 28 Days Later zombie. And they have a zombie tiger and a zombie horse that he rides and uses as, like, a guard dog. Like, the zombie tiger apparently guards their territory, and he has a zombie horse. And I'm like, holy shit, this is so cool. I love it. It's actually really cool. Like, I would have liked to have seen the Las Vegas zombie apocalypse. I think I would really like to see that. Actually, I think they are going to have, Army of the Dead, Las Vegas is, they're two prequels. They are going to have two prequels. So, it would be fun to see that. I wonder if we're going to follow the woman from the prologue. That would actually be pretty cool because we know her story is going to be like a massive tragedy. So if we do follow her, I wonder what they're going to do with that. No, beside the point. Anyway. So, the rest of the heist movie is kind of just running through the motions, to be honest. Like, it is fun when it interacts, like they had to crawl through this area, dealing with the zombies. Oh, the inevitable trail ended up turning the zombies against them, so now it's turning into like a zombie apocalypse sort of, the everything's gone wrong in the heist escape kind of combined together near the end. But I don't like the zombie part of the movie where they do interesting things like the alpha zombies and the zombie tiger and the horse and the weird tribalist society they have. That's kind of like I Am Legend-ish. We never really got much of an I Am Legend, so I'm like, this might be extrapolating what I think they would have been like. And the heist movie in general just doesn't do enough unique stuff. But, like, it's still fun to see these, motions being done in the middle of a zombie-torn hellscape. So, yeah. Anything else? Let's see. Their guide is like a coyote, which, for those of you who don't know, coyote is someone who sneaks people past the border. And I don't remember exactly what it was. Like, she basically has a deal with the a-hole who's going to betray them. What was his name? Martin. So, yeah. Anyway, she had a deal with him, and he ends up cutting off the zombie queen's head and pissing off all the zombies. After she bought that peace offering with literally that a-hole security guard. and she ends up holding the head hostage with a gunpoint in order to prevent the zombies from killing them, because, you know, the leader is intelligent-ish. So when he finally, like, pins her and is about to kill her, she decides to just drop her head onto the ground. Although, you gotta know, like, I never thought I'd say this, but I feel kind of bad for the zombies at some point, because, like, at first they were really actually kind of a little, it's like, you gave us our sacrifice, are the new member of our tribe. We shall let you in peace, so long as you stay to the outskirts. And it's like, oh, so you got the idea that the more intelligent zombies were like, you paid your price, we'll leave you alone. Just one at a time. One each time, that's all we need. And then, after they find the body of the queen, because he cut off the head, and the head's still, you know, active, you find out that she was pregnant, so apparently they could still reproduce, or at least the head alpha could. And he, like, pulls out the fetus and tries to get it to speak or something like that. Maybe he's hoping, you know, it's a zombie, or maybe he's just not intelligent enough to realize, but it's dead. And he has this, like, whole breakdown moment of, like, you know what, I kind of feel bad for him. Like, he's already about to be nuked in a few hours, and now he just had to watch it. He literally had to watch the unborn fetus of his child finally give out and die. It's like, yeah, that's, yeah, he's justified. So yeah, inevitable betrayal happens. The a-hole Martin gets ripped apart by a tiger. The safecracker ends up throwing the badass who almost gets bitten, and later revealed he did get bitten, into the vault. Everybody else slowly escapes, all but in the helicopter crashes near the end. So only what was it? She was a girl from the detention camp, volunteer helper. And she was going back to save two women. Neither of them survived the crash, so she was all left. You know, the main character who wants to just make things right gives her some money to start a new life. And she shoots her. It's all really heartbreaking. But we find out the badass Vander survived. He managed to get a car, drive to Utah to rent a private plane to take him to Mexico. You know, start a new life with all the money, because he got thrown in the vault by the safecracker when they tried to escape the zombie. And the safecracker got dragged away by the head zombie, but he managed to throw him in there and save him. You know, he was like the weak one who had never killed a zombie. He actually, you know, found some confidence, and in the end, he ended up saving the guy who was belittling him, and they became friends, and then he had to watch him die, or at least get ripped away. We actually never seen him get bitten, so, well, even if he didn't, he got nuked, so same thing, basically. Same result. Either he turned into a zombie, got nuked, or he was being held like the others to be bitten, and then got nuked. Either way, he's dead. So, yeah. But when Vander's on the plane, dun dun dun, it's time for the sequel bait. He starts getting sick, and we all realize what's happened. He runs into he asks them to, like, let him go to the bathroom, because he, like, a lot of money to, like, basically just buy a pirate plane off the strip. He was in a casino vault. He has, like, all the money in the world now. And then as the plane says they're about to send to Mexico City, he sees the bite mark, because we never actually saw him got bit. It looked like he was just about to get bit, and then he got saved. But it looks like when the safecracker saved him, bashing the zombie's head, it must have, like, caused him to bite down, and he just didn't realize he'd gotten bitten in all the, you know, chaos. So yeah, sequel bait, I guess. Next one's in Mexico City. Sounds fun. I'll definitely watch another one of these. It was a fun ride, like a roller coaster, honestly. It's just fun sights. Didn't really care much about the characters. Honestly, most out of all the characters in the film, the unknown mom at the beginning, who we never, like, learned the name of, was probably the most interesting one of them, because she goes through this entire wordless arc. I've never said this before, but I'm a sucker for anyone who can make a good wordless scene. If you can make a really good scene that's really emotional without any actual voice lines, or really, really, really minimal voice lines, and just let the actors act in a visual medium, I'm all for that. They're some of my favorite scenes. In fact, my all-time favorite scene out of any movie ever is a silent scene. And I'm going to save that for when I talk about that movie, because I will talk about it one day. One day. Alright, well, that's all for now. Next week, I'm going to be reviewing the Voyage of the Basilisk, the next book by Marie Brennan, on Tuesday. And then on Friday, I'm going to be going to see Black Widow. Finally, Marvel's back. Yay. And then Loki's coming out. We're going to have so much Marvel stuff to talk about. It's going to be fun. So, yeah. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, and thank you for listening to the Dragon's Library. Please subscribe to this podcast to be notified of new episodes. The Dragon's Library releases new episodes Tuesday and Friday each week, and you can follow us on Twitter at dragon_library2. If you want to suggest an episode topic, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for all your support.